Obajobi. I'm a graduate of Max-Migold Training Center. I graduated in the year 2020, and Max-Migold has been an excellent training for me. I went through this training and transitioning from an architect to a facility manager, and I totally enjoyed I'm a graduate of Max-Migold Training Center. Graduated in 2020. Excellent training for me. I went through this training and transitioning from an architect to a facility manager, and I totally enjoyed I'm a graduate of Max-Migold Training Center. I got to know Max-Migold. Excellent training for me. I went through this flyers on an e-flyer. I saw an e-flyer that talked about facility management training, and it's something I've always shown interest. I've been looking out for what I can do differently as an architect to build myself and add value to myself. Then I got to know about Max-Migold. I followed through, and I had a 2 days free training session with Max-Migold, and from there I got so much interest in building my career as a facility manager, and they have helped me. I've gone through the full training, and I'm a graduate of Max-Migold. I appreciate that, and they have been wonderful. They have added so much value to my career, and it has been an excellent walkthrough with Max-Migold. Thank you.
My name is Peter Lawa, a facility manager with Triumph Properties and Facility Management. A graduate of FMMC Batch 12, of which prior to that I was a graduate of Physics with Electronics. It's funny when you hear physics and facility management. That shows what facility management can do to you. Coming into this, when I took the course, the 3 months Master Craft class, which was quite intense and very eye-opening. I came into the course with the intention of learning more pending when I will be getting fully employed, because prior to the program I was still in the job market trying to get somewhere to work. So fast forward to the class, I went through a lot, and this kind of broadened my perspective to the everyday activities and everyday objects I see around me. There are opportunities, there are all these things matter, right from the fabric of the material used in painting, decorating, even right off the dust on the table, cleaning.
Hello, my name is Amaka Anasi, and before the facility management diploma, Mastercraft diploma, I was working in the Lagoon School as a facility manager. I heard about the diploma and I attended the free training first because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do the diploma. So the free training convinced me that this was it. So I registered for the diploma. It has been worth my while, really. It's been very worth my while. So before the diploma, I had been working in facility management for about 5 years, and generally groping in the dark, making mistakes, learning from costly mistakes. Now with diploma, my facility management strategy has changed. It's no longer firefighting, but even though that still happens occasionally because life happens. But now I know, okay, so I have different maintenance strategies for different assets I can put in place and reach the bins before faults happen, which is the best way of practicing facility management. Then also, I know that some of my colleagues, some of my classmates in diploma have gotten promotions or pay rises, and you want to have that too. And also, through the training, I've been exposed. In fact, I'm still being exposed. I contribute and I learn by being part of the alumni group. It's wonderful. There's a lot. I'm exposed to industry standards. You hear from other people who are wearing the same shoes as you're wearing, so you're not alone. It's big, that sense of community. And I want to thank Mr. Paul and the team of Max-Migold for the wonderful opportunity. And I encourage you to do the same to start the program.
My name is Adeninji Clements. I work with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I joined the Max-Migold in January 2022, and which is the diploma program. I enjoyed the program, both the field, practical. There is a practical we hold at Ikoyi. I forgot the name of the address. The plumbing practical. It was also very, and a lot to improve on at my own site. I started working in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs since 2007, and from resident at Ikoyi to our training school at Alombadagri from 2012, and from there, since then, they tried to introduce Max-Migold to me, in which my organization see that from there I can still gain more experience to improve my career. And say when I joined in the area of asset register, I improve on it. In the area of procurement, I make sure that all our materials and everything is being kept safely. And in the area of maintaining the generator annually also, it helped me a lot. Both the cleaning of the environment, it was so also, and Max-Migold we still continue to be great, and we enjoy Mr. Paul, Mr. Emmanuel. I can't remember all our resource people. We really enjoy them, and I pray that God Almighty will continue to help them, and will continue to promote the Max-Migold. Thank you.
Mastercraft program started. I attended a training before, a free training before the Mastercraft program, and I told myself that it took me a lot of things to do the Mastercraft program. And just my first day at the class, I learned a lot. It was like I wasn't even practicing facilities management all this while. I went home and I went home very fulfilled, and I told myself I have to be great starting this program. Before then, I didn't have I wasn't called for this interview. I started dropping my CV in some companies. Then I got this interview, and when I got there, the way I related with people interviewing me, they really knew that I had a serious idea of what facilities management is all about. And before now, trust me, if I did that interview before the class had started, I don't think I would have gotten the job, because a lot of things I had learned from this place, contract management, facilities management in total, what is it all about and what it entails, brought me out and made me stand out in the interview process. I was able to tell them much about contract management. I was able to tell them much about KPIs and how to supervise and all of that, and how to manage a building and how to manage facilities in the building and what to look out for. And they were very, 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 very impressed with my section. I'm 100% sure it was due to the few lectures, because I've not even gone too far in Mastercraft program when I went for this interview. But the few things I've learned in the class got me all the ideas forward and was able to get the job?
I'm Matthew Ojonuga Friday. Actually, I'm very grateful to be part of this free training. I'm working with Asego Nigeria Limited as a maintenance and servicing engineer. Also, I'm a mechanical engineer by profession. I've been looking into opportunity to build up a career in facility management. And thank God I came across the Max-Migold online on WhatsApp, and I came to the opportunity and I came for the training. Actually, the first time of being here, and I can attest to the fact that the training was absolutely wonderful. I learned something new, very new that I have not learned before. And Mr. Paul is a very wonderful lecturer and also a mentor to say, because what I have downloaded into for this training is what enough to be a mentor to align with. And I believe as time goes on, I promise to get close and learn more from him, because I believe he has much to deliver. And also I want to comment on his efforts so far to make sure the training was wonderful in terms of free lunch and every other facilities and things which have made available for everybody.
My name is Ubote Okoyemi. I heard about Max-Migold from a friend. And actually, I just concluded my MSc. I've not actually had another experience different from academics. But coming here today actually has opened my eyes to a lot of opportunities. It has actually made me believe there are lots of opportunities outside academics in terms of the management aspects, the HSC and more of it. And for the speaker, it was very fantastic. He got everybody wow, really made good points, and he changed the idea and thought into very effective. And referring people, I think he has actually brought out the positivity for you to want to tell people about what you have learned, which I believe you want to motivate people to come and do better.
My name is Anayo Victor Waboa. I work with Plus World Realtors. Max-Migold has done a great job by lecturing us on facility management training, fundamentals and specific core competencies in facility management. I really love it because it helped me improve myself better despite what I've known. And there are still new developments, still new process to the way you carry out facility management procedures in your workplace. I was opportune to ask a lot of questions and get a lot of answers to my questions, and these questions and these answers will rather help me perform better at my work. Yes, Paul Erubami, I've known him for a while now, and he has been so good, he has been so nice. In fact, he called me this morning, we talked about one or few things concerning facility management and my growth, and I really appreciate him for such an opportunity. Despite not paying any dime for this, yes, we received so much value. We've been here since morning and we are still receiving, and we don't want to go home. I think this training is profitable for everyone who is ready to grow a career in facility management. Thank you very much.
The very first day in class was, my God, wow, you know, the knowledge, everything in the class was just wow. That's all I can say. And today, you know, I've been to different interviews, I've done very well, I've represented very well, and I've organization currently where I worked. You know, I just joined them this December, and they just made me the head of facilities. Number one was that when I came, there wasn't system at all. Nothing like PPM. They always break down of, you know, service and all of that. So first thing I came, I took the stock, I do a PPM, I create an asset register. They were like, what's going on? So I created the system, all to the knowledge I gained through this institution.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hajia Zainab Saleh, and I'm the Managing Director of Brains and Hammers Facility Management Limited and White Oak Management Services Limited. Both are facilities management companies. Not too long ago, I decided to enroll my staff in a masterclass program organized by Max-Migold Limited. For some of us that are not aware, Max-Migold Limited is a physical facilities management, training, inspection, technology advisory firm. Now, I've known them for quite some time, and I chose, not too long ago, to put my staff through a training program under Max-Migold. And I can assure you that it was worth it. Why do I say that? What value has it brought to me? Or what value has it brought to my staff and to the organization generally? I can assure you there was a change. Why do I say that? Their mindset has begun to change. The way they look at attending to activities and tasks that have been given to them have changed. I even hear it in their conversations. And when you hear my staff discussing about tasks or projects that have been given to them to execute, you hear them saying, oh no, I remember in class they told me not to do this. Let's do it this way, and let's see how it's going to affect the work at the end of the day. The long and short of all what I'm trying to say to you is that if you have an opportunity to send your staff or yourself to Max-Migold, please do it, because it is worth it. And I can assure you that you will see positive changes in your staff, and which will eventually impact in your organization. Do go ahead, work with Max-Migold.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's another 1 p.m. on Thursday, and you're welcome to our lunch hour session, FM lunch hour. Thank you to all those who have made it a point of duty to be here every Thursday. We value your presence. We appreciate you for what you are doing in the built environment, and we're grateful for this opportunity to reach you and share with you insights on how we can make our workplaces, our residencies, our places, our worship centers, all of the places where we live, work, and play more productive, healthier for every building user. We're also excited to be able to do a little bit to help every individual who joins us to progress in your careers. I can tell you that we as Max-Migold, running these from week to week to week, are being blessed immensely by this opportunity to share in some of the knowledge that we have. And in recent months, you've seen that we've had a broad spread of facilitators, faculty members coming to you with different topics. The topics to be covered in facility management are so much that we can't really cover all of it in a few days of a training course, or even in 3 months FM Mastercraft diploma. And even though we are planning to have an advanced diploma and probably more certificate program set up, we want to make sure that your continuous participation on a weekly basis can give you a very wide advantage over those who don't. And this is coming to you on a weekly basis. Every week you get 1 hour of free knowledge, and you can go back to our YouTube channel and go over some 200 hours more of free knowledge and become better for it. So thank you for being here. You make it worth our while. We're having a countdown to 2 very important events that I would like to highlight. The first one is the free training session we have scheduled for the 4th of April. I hope I'm getting that date right. Yes, Saturday, 4th of April. So if you have not registered to participate in this free training, or you have not made it your calling to invite others to it, I'm going to ask that the link to the free training registration be dropped on the chat. I want our team to please do that. Drop the link to the free training on the chat. And everyone listening to me right now from Zoom, from Facebook, from LinkedIn, from YouTube, please pick up this link and immediately start sharing it. Start sharing it. If you are not on our facility management training platforms on Telegram and WhatsApp, you're missing a lot. Please engage with us in those platforms. The link to join those platforms will also be dropped on the group so that you can all be there. We will put out some flyers towards the free training. We will be admitting the first 100 people into the training center on Saturday 4th. So if you really want to benefit from this, come in early. We will not, I don't think you will get the seat if you come in later than 9 o'clock. So I would encourage you to come in early, secure your seat, because once it's 100, the door will be shut, okay? So that's on the 4th of April. But again, we also have the virtual option. So you are not unlucky if you decide that you won't have the time to come in physically, but you want to join virtually. We'll try and make it as engaging for those who join virtually as well. Okay, so mark your calendars for Saturday, 4th of April for the FM free training. We will, at the end of that day's training, which will cover key career advancement topics in facility management, you will have access to take an assessment in our learning management system and then earn your certificates for that training. Many people have started launching their FM career with this free FM training certificate. So please don't undermine this one day of free training. On the 13th of April, 2026, we're going to roll out FMMC 27, which is the 27th batch of the Facility Management Mastercraft Diploma, which has trained and effectively qualified more than 1,000 professionals. It is the program that has the largest, most profound impact on the FM industry in Africa. Our alumni are managing, most of the far-reaching, advanced, high density of modern facilities across the continent. So if you are in facility management and you have not taken the FM Mastercraft Diploma, you are wrong. So you need to know that you need to take the FM Mastercraft Diploma. And for those who have been delaying from 1 year to the next, to the next, to the next, hoping that the price will come down, unfortunately, the trend has been upwards only since 2016 when we launched. So I wonder what's going to bring the price down, next year. We should be talking about 2-3 million for the program next year and beyond. So hope you can keep your future hire money ready when that time comes if you've been delaying. But for everyone else who have taken the FM Mastercraft Diploma, I'll say please be the advocate. Let's hear your story. Let those around you know the impact it has had in your careers, okay? How you have grown and progressed over the years. We need to hear this. We need to tell the story. We need to make sure that everybody are aware of the value you have benefited from the FM Mastercraft Diploma. And to add to that, we are adding a special bonus to all our alumni. Everyone you refer who successfully takes the FM Mastercraft Diploma, you earn a 50,000 naira bonus for making that effort. So imagine bringing 20 people from the company and from your association, from the church, and from your family into the program. That will make a little bit of an impact in your finances, even though you're already earning big bucks. For everyone else, that we have a 5% discount running. It's an early bird discount that will end the week of the training starting. So please take advantage of this and make your payments. And then for companies, FM teams in organizations, please, even associations, professional bodies, we are giving up to 50% discount for a group enrollment. So come in 5, 10, 20, 30, and let's discuss the kind of discount that will be applicable for your group enrollment. Okay. Thank you very much. Today, we have a very interesting topic, and this is one topic that every time I have to discuss it, it almost sounds as though, people say FM is a thankless job. When we make sure everything works, nobody takes us seriously. They don't think we're even doing anything until we break, and then they notice us, and then they lambast us, and so on and so forth. And so what we've taught all along is there are reasons why people don't notice FM until it fails. And it's not about the people, it's not about our management, it's not about our colleagues, it's not about our billing users, it's about us. There's something that we ought to be doing in addition to exceptional, excellent service delivery for us to get that recognition. Even though we're not doing the work for recognition, we're doing it because we find satisfaction in solving problems, in proactively creating solutions for people who use our facilities. We just enjoy all of that, right? But we also want them to see the value, what goes into what we actually do. So great facility management is silent success, okay? We do not want failure to make it loud. We want to provide silent success and also be noticed, make it loud at the same time. So it's important that we learn these principles in this session. So welcome once again as we step into it. In this session today, you will understand why FM often goes unnoticed, when all systems work properly. We'll talk about operational gaps that only become visible during failures. And then we'll discuss strategies to make FM value more visible to stakeholders. That's the gist, that's the core of today's conversation. Communication techniques that highlight FM impact on business continuity. So every time I talk about FMs, demonstrating value, using data and analysis to create compelling arguments for what the good that we do, I'm actually teaching you how to be a good marketer. And I've said it in many sessions. Nobody can succeed without becoming a good marketer. That may be very generalistic, but it applies to everyone in every field or sphere of life, because one way or the other, you need to sell yourself, your skills, your value, whether to an employer, whether to a buyer of your service, whether to colleagues to show some leadership skills, for promotion, for whatever it is. We always need to be able to present our best self. It's professional etiquette to be able to present your best self, right? So what is hindering that? What is hindering that? What is stopping you from being seen, perceived, acknowledged as a noteworthy of successful facility manager or career person? And then proactive practices that shift FM from invisible support to strategic value. What are some of the steps we can take to move FM from that stay on the background and wait for something to happen, and then we deal it, still in the background, like operating from the shadows, to strategic value, where when discussions about the future of the organization or whatever community you're part of is being had, you are always being contacted, you're always being considered, you're always being conferred with. That's when you know you have started providing strategic value. You are now seen as a key stakeholder who is a significant part, if not central, component of path to progress. So you manage a facility and everything goes smooth, seamlessly. Nobody experienced any time there was no water. Nobody experienced any time there was power outage for more than a few seconds. Everybody just feels this comfort from air conditioning and HVAC systems that seem to work seamlessly. You know, everything just seems to work fine. You don't hear too much noise, you don't have humidity, no mold, no security risk. It's just work fine. You look around you and the place is just clean. No dust, no particles, no dirt around you. You don't even smell anything other than pleasant fragrance around you. And so, what happens? The user of that space, the management, they will tend to just shift their focus into other things, where problems are. It is human nature to dwell on the negative because you want to fix the negative and turn it to positive. That's just our nature. That's how we are made, right? So whatever works well is done and dusted. Attention shifts to whatever doesn't work. So over time, that mentality makes those who are doing their work well, making sure everything works seamlessly, become easily forgotten to the point where someone might even ask you one day, what exactly do you do? Right? Because, you've done it so well that nobody notices that effort goes into it. So hope is not lost. Don't lose, focus on what's important. Because what you do happen behind the scenes, your impact is less visible to occupants and leadership. And of course, when disruptions occur, they begin to find out who should we blame, who didn't do his job well, who wasn't proactive, who didn't manage risk, who did not do this, right? It comes out to become a case of being noticed for the wrong thing. Do you want to have failures to create the appearance of presence and activity, or would you want to have no failures completely, which on the other hand creates the illusion that FM requires little effort or expertise, as if nothing much goes into delivering facility management? So let's talk about that psychology of interest, focus, attention on the negative. If you watch the news, you will see a pattern. If you've been following the news, you will notice a pattern. When something negative happens in the world, a shooting in a school, some terrorist attack, or a full-blown war, all attention is on, all the news media will be capturing that, right? During that period, there will be no attention to school teachers doing very well and taking care of kids and exceptionally talented people excelling in quiz competitions, charity organizations helping people in various communities. All of those news will be pushed aside. In fact, if they even make any effort to put those news out, most people will just ignore the news because the wiring, the short attention span is for what is negative. So that's exactly. And then when a bigger negative thing happens, the highlight moves. That's other one that was a bad thing that was taking all the headlines suddenly push itself aside quietly. And then a new attention focuses on the big bad news, right? Human attention naturally focuses on problems, not on systems quietly working in the background. Okay? So people assume everything is functioning well when there are no complaints or disruptions. Consistent reliability becomes the expectation, making small operations feel, smooth operation feel normal, like things work around here. There's not much to it. So success in facility management often means preventing issues, which makes the effort invisible to most stakeholders. So if you are the kind of person who wants attention, and you notice this natural tendency in humans and management and leadership, you probably will be putting some here and there so that people will be calling your attention. See something that is proactively attended to, you left it that it really calls for attention, superstar. But that is not success in facility management. In fact, let me break down what success in facility management means. A successful facility manager operates at a level we call the proactive level. At the proactive level, virtually everything that he does is internally initiated, strategized, planned, scheduled, executed, and reported upon. It's internally instigated. Now, does it mean that there are no items, no activities that other people will pick and call on him for? There may be, but the proactive facility manager always preempts those failure calls, those fault calls, by being ahead. He does his inspections, he has his risk mitigation plans, he has his preventive maintenance plan, he has his template for executing various procedures, SOPs in place. So when those things are in place, before something breaks, the FM has picked it up because his inspection is scheduled and it comes with a checklist that says, check this, check that. So before something breaks, he gets a whiff of it and then he plans to execute it. At that proactive level, even if something begins to show signs that it's going to fail, let's assume a door that normally locks seamlessly begins to make some noise, slight noise. The users will not bother to call the FM's attention because they know that in the next 1 week or 1 month, the FM will pick that up and put it into its work task and execute it and resolve it. So they tend to ignore minor things, and they're no longer micromanaging or interfering with the FM work because they know the FM is proactive. So that's the level at which all FMs should aspire to, where calls your attention to something because you are always ahead, you're always expecting, you're always aware, you're always dealing with issues, even before they become problems. Okay, now that may sound like an idealistic position to be in, where everything is just so perfect for you, like life is sorted for you, right? So we have a standard called it the 80-20 principles, where even if you cannot achieve that 100% proactivity, there's an allowance for at least 20%, that comes from your bosses when they do their own management field inspections, clients when they have ideas or thoughts and they bring them to you that you didn't think of before, items that have missed your inspections and your routine activities, and then they call your attention to it, and then you deal with it with full concentration and ensure that it is delivered without excuse. Then we say you're operating at level 2, what I call the request level. at the request level, some things are brought to your attention. You didn't pick them. Either you missed them or new ideas, something that came up along the way. It is okay. If you cannot be 100% proactive, at least 20% request, 80% proactive is still within the standard. Now, if you operate at level 3, which I call the complaint level, some of those requests that came to you at level 2, which is at the request level, some of those items that brought to your attention that you should have done, you either didn't do them well, quality, you didn't deliver them on time, or you did not communicate properly during the delivery process. Any of these 3, or you didn't do it at all, right? So any of these 4 can lead that requester to come and remind you, prompt you, call your attention on this job, or call you back for a repeat job. In any of these instances, we say you are level 3, which complaint level. Complaint level is you, right? There's not been any need now to complain to another person, because complaint to another person is another level, which we call level 4, which is the escalation level. At this level, someone who has given you a request, putting you at level 2, which will say you are still manageable, has come back to you to complain, putting you at level 3, which will say you should not be at, and yet you still didn't respond, act or react, or deal with the issues promptly. And then they now had a reason to report or request intervention from your bosses, from your colleagues, how you come to work this again because I'm not doing this or not doing that, and so on and so forth. That level of escalation is what you want to avoid as a facility manager. You don't want to be operating at level 4 escalation. You want to be at level 1 proactive, or level 2 request at the worst case. Complaint and escalation, you should not have any part in your operations, right? Now, do you think that escalation level, this level 4 that I've carefully defined, is the worst scenario that an FM can be in? Unfortunately not. We have level 5, which I call the crisis level. At the crisis level, the clients, your users, your occupiers, they have resorted to self-help. They've done all they can to make requests. They've complained to you. They've escalated beyond you, and they're not getting any headway. So they begin to plan for their own care, start taking care of themselves by having their own, gallons of water, tissue, toilet rolls in their bags and purses, having air freshener in their purses and disinfectant to clean the toilet, bringing their own extension boxes, having their own battery bank. Somebody's been to the office, is carrying a battery bank, 20, whatever category you call those things. Now you see some of them looks like a music player, just to charge their phones and laptops, even in the office. They have resorted to self-help. In fact, there's one office block I went to a couple of years ago where every window was open and every individual in every room had a small generator. This I passed my neighbor generator, strung out into the into the bush beside the building, and it was blasting all day. They do not expect that power will even come in, let alone so they just come to work, and if person put on its own generator, it was a mess, right? When we begin to do things at crisis level, we are self-medicating, solving our own problems ourselves, because the FM team, the whole FM concept is has collapsed in that facility. You don't want to be there. In fact, if we decide to do a survey of your building users, it's going to be nasty results. You're going to have people really make every effort to comment on those surveys because they are angry, they are frustrated at how poorly the services are. At that point, they're not even talking to you anymore. So ask yourself, where are you? Which level are you? Are you in level 1, proactive? Are you in level 2, request? Are you level 3, complaints? Are you level 4, escalation? Or are you level 5, crisis? Success in facility management often means preventing issues, which makes the effort invisible to most stakeholders. So if I stay at level 1, proactive, I am preventing issues. I'm solving it before they notice it. So that's why I might likely be undervalued. That's why a failure will suddenly draw attention and suddenly make it look as if, yes, if it fails, that's what the FM, that's how we know the FM is working. Okay. So let's talk about some of the common failures exposes FM gaps. Power outages, generator failure, with backup systems, air conditioning breakdown. People feel that one very directly. Heat, when indoor conditions become unbearable, productivity dwindles. Water leaks, in fact, water availability first, then the leaks, plumbing failures, causing damages and other operational interruptions. Elevator or access control malfunction that affect mobility, safety, and user experience. Poor cleaning or waste management. People begin to smell things and begin to feel threatened by unhealthy environments. Does this have an impact on your operations? Of course. It not only impacts productivity, people not being able to do their best work to give value to the organization, but it also damages the reputation of the facility management profession, not just the team. Stakeholder perception is a big aspect, when it comes to people, talking about the professionalism, confidence in the management of the FM team. It's a big issue. And then over time, we now have, a backlog of repairs, upgrades that needs to be done because it wasn't done proactively in the first place. But all of this has led to poor satisfaction. In fact, quality of life depreciation, asset value depreciation, productivity losses, net losses for the entire organization. So we've established that you do your job so well, you could become invisible. You do it so badly, you could be in the limelight for the wrong reasons, damaging reputation, destroying your personal value and management perception of what you can do, right? So it is like a conundrum, right? It's two sides to a coin that you don't want any of. So what can make that change? What can make that difference? Strategic facility management. Strategic facility management, where you are able to elevate yourself from the lower levels of reasoning to the higher level. Let me break down levels of reasoning and how it affects what you do. You can reason at a strategic, tactical, or operational level. All you do can be focused on how it is done, how I have seen it being done. That's at the operational level, the day-to-day grind, the things that you react or respond to. That's how operational. Above that is the tactical, which defines what. So if I have a budget, I know what contracts to put in place, I know what projects to execute, I know what plans to put preventive maintenance plans for what assets, all my asset data, I know all that, so that it now determines what I do at the operational level. So the rosters, the schedules, the servicing, all of those acts I do on a day-to-day depends on what I've done or planned at the tactical level. But you see, most facility managers, they stop at the tactical level. They've been taught what to do, they have SLAs, and they comply. But SLAs at the tactical level are subject to higher level considerations at the strategic level. That's where KPIs, key performance indicators. So service level agreements are focused on what we do. So cleaning is an activity. When you set service level agreements for cleaning, prescribing when cleaning should be done, the frequency, who should do it, the materials to use, and all that, and so on and so forth. You have defined the tactical plan using the SLA, and then during operational execution, you put rosters and material schedules and all of those inspections and reporting tools in place to ensure that you can meet the SLA. But SLA is at the tactical or what level? At the strategic or Y level, that's where we have KPIs, key performance indicators. Key performance indicators define why we execute certain activities. So this is where we answer to the relevance of cleaning, the relevance of security, the relevance of anything we do or plan at tactical level to the organization. So if as a facility manager, you have not developed strategic level plans, KPIs, much of the things you are doing at the what or tactical level, all the plans you are making there, and the corresponding operational activities might be wrong, not focused on the right thing, because you have missed out on the starting reasoning, the highest level of reasoning and planning, which is why at the strategic level. Okay, so when you do the things you do on a day-to-day, management don't necessarily see how important what you are doing is to the organization. So that's why as facility managers, when developing strategic plans, we start with what the organization is trying to achieve. We want to achieve profitability. Most organizations want that. So I start thinking, how can my services improve profitability? Okay. Number two, organizations want high productivity. They pay 1,000 naira to somebody for a work to be done. They want that person to be productive and provide 1,000 naira value, right? So productivity is often there, which is, of course, they want employees to rate the organization, highly, so that when they're looking for talents, they get good testimonials to source the right talents. Organizations are considering that. Organizations are also thinking about their reputation to the world. What are the how are we perceived? When we go out there to win new businesses, there are so many key performance indicators that we can draw from organizational strategy. So once you learn that and you now come in and you want to create an FM plan, your thinking should be, how can I support, create strategies for this, for that, for this, for that, based on what the organization wants to achieve. Take profitability, for example. Can I support the profitability of the organization by creating an environment that makes marketing and sales more productive, more able to generate more business? Of course, I can do that. Can I also support the profitability of my organization by ensuring that I can define specifications for what I procure with the money of the organization, so that I can always procure at the lowest practicable cost saving a lot of money that usually goes wasted from contracting value loss, from procurement losses. Can I do that? Because every savings I make from those areas go directly to profits, including the audits that we do to ensure that energy is efficient and is not wasted, that spaces are not wasted, that materials are not stocked on, and they expire on my hand and so on and so forth. Can I take that and report on that, connecting those reports to profitability of the organization? Can I take my cleaning, for example, and say, if I clean so well, I have implemented color-coded cleaning. I've gotten organic materials, not toxic materials that hurt people's health, and so on and so forth. I'm contributing to the well-being, the health and well-being of all the workers. Can I take that data of what I have done and connect it to number of days people are sick and can't come to work, for example, complaints that residents or occupants have, that are related to hygiene in the workplace. Can I connect that so that every naira I spend on cleaning, I link it to an improvement in the health hygiene of people that use my spaces, and so on and so forth. That is the kind of planning and reporting that elevates the FM's story, that makes you noticed by stakeholders even when things don't break. So that's where the formula lies. Use key metrics and KPIs to quantify FM impact. Our air conditioning has been 100% available throughout this month. We don't have a single minute of downtime of cooling. Our water has flowed consistently. Our water quality has been very high, certified by the lab results. We have provided a safe environment, zero interruption, zero incidents. Unsafe acts, unsafe conditions in our facility has been controlled to the point where the numbers have been diminishing from month to month. Those are the kind of, so sometimes we are in an environment where the core business does not understand that we have strategic responsibilities. So they will focus more on cleaners are around. Have you checked that the number of cleaners should be there? Have you bought soap and detergents? They'll check on liters of diesel. How many liters of diesel do you consume today? Because they are kind of mirroring their frustration with your work on what they want to report. So they'll tell you, report on this. I had one site where the client said, my FM should report on diesel level every day by 3 o'clock. I don't blame him. It's the way we have managed it. They buy the diesel and we use it for them. And often we'll tell them, oh, diesel is running out. You better make sure there's diesel in 3 days' time. And then they struggle, 3 days, they couldn't get diesel. There's power outage for a day or two before diesel comes. And they don't like that at all. That's one of the failures that, we have set up in the system to choke them, to let them know that, they should let us do it or they're not doing it well, right? Which is wrong. So they start telling you, give us every day so that we don't even want to advise us anymore about our other levels. We just want to be seeing the levels. We know how much you're consuming. We now know when to order ourselves. They themselves become very involved in your facility management because they don't see strategic involvement from you in where they are going, what their vision is, what their strategies are. Okay, so if you are in that environment where there are no real well-defined KPIs, your FM strategy is not connected to operational strategy, they just expect to report on the base activities at the tactical and operational level. Your career will not experience fulfillment. You will not get to that point where at the board level, you are being invited to come and explain certain initiatives or come and defend certain budgets. No, there'll be someone in the core business who really doesn't know anything about FM basically pulling the strings, pushing you right and left, and you will get stuck complaining every day how you are not getting promoted, you're not getting elevated, and things like that. Whereas it is you who is supposed to elevate yourself, get information about the vision strategy and vision and direction, and begin to craft KPIs that defines the relevance, and then begin to gather data from your operations and tactical planning and execution to reinforce or communicate in the report you send to management the value of the services that you provide. And then sometimes the way you report can be an issue. I talked about what you report on. So if you've not had strategic plans and strategic KPIs that reports into the strategic plans, you might have a challenge with that visibility of what FM does, even when everything works well. The second one is now how you report. Sometimes our reports are story. Weekly highlights, we just make some notes and submit it to management every week or every month and say, this is the story of FM this month. Now, but the problem with that is words without visuals can only paint a picture of now, but does not create a connection with the past and does not project into the future. So while subjective and qualitative reporting by semantic expressions are useful, it's important that we should move most of what we are reporting on to objective, quantifiable expressions that can be visualized, that can be trended, so that when I say this is what my experience or my results are for this month, I can relate it to what my results are for last month, and I can project or forecast what my results will be for next month. Those are the kind of things that that catches the attention of CEOs, CFOs, COOs that we report to. Okay. So what are we supposed to highlight? Cost savings, risk mitigation that we have achieved through proactive FM initiatives. When an organization sees that you are helping it prevent problems that will cause disruptions, and knowing fully well that for every hour of disruption, this is the loss. Now, for most FMs, you may not have done this calculation. If you have 200 employees sitting in your building and they could not work for 1 hour because of a disruption, it may not even be your maintenance failure, maybe it's not generator or HVAC related. It could just be that the environmental authorities have sealed the building for 1 day because of a certain non-compliance for emission, for effluent, or something, right? That's a failure, isn't it? You might not be able to calculate the impact on the organization. Every organization that pays our salary knows what his wage bill is per month. They will divide that by 20 days that each person works. They know what a day's wage bill is for everybody in the organization. Divide that by the number of hours you work each day, 8 hours every day. They know how much an hour's wage bill is for every disruption, every failure, to be able to actually work during that hour, what it means for the organization. So you are the only one that is lost to the fact that when there's a disruption, there is a tangible amount that is lost. Don't be aware of this. Even if you don't have the exact figures, make some estimations. Use a range so that you don't just wake up one day and say, oh, the generator guy says it's only 10 a.m. He has time to service the gen. Therefore, we're shutting down the whole business to service the gen for 1 hour. Because at that time, by the time you know that figure, you cannot add that to the cost of servicing the gen, so you can know how much loss. And when I'm talking about this calculation of companies' loss for disruption, I'm only describing the input loss. Every input an organization invests in a business has an expected rate of returns. So if I put in 10 million into my business, I expect to sell 20 million out of it, right? So if I'm only using inputs to calculate the loss for disruptions, I'm not doing justice to that analysis. I can extend that to the potential revenue loss from that disruption. So when I now report to management the things I am doing to ensure that we don't have these disruptions, I envisage the risk and I took certain measures to mitigate the risk that now led to uptime for most of the assets, productive time for most of the users, health improvements that now led to, and so on and so forth. I can report on these very high level strategic results because I know what's important to the organization. And I can connect that to the day-to-day task of my workers. Take something as simple as complaints from building users. You think it's to be taken for granted that people just complain, so the complaint we want to attend to the complaint. Please count every complaint. Every complaint is a loss to the organization. Everyone. So every month that you counted 90 last month, you can drop it down to 85, you can drop it down to 80 every month. Please report on that. That is important. It shows continuous improvement in the organization. And then try to capture and document stories and case studies that demonstrate FM's role in smooth operations. We do too little of this. Somebody tells you, thank you for what you have done. I imagine how it would have been this afternoon with this NEPA situation if the gen was not working. Now, how can you go back to that person and say, I would like to do a little video clip or a little story, just one paragraph from you about this testimonial you've given. Go back and pick it. Don't overlook that. Don't say we don't want to be bragging. Please try and brag a little bit. You are doing a lot already. Capture positive stories, moments where things were done right. Just this week, a story broke about a school building that they saw signs of cracks and noise and evacuated the whole children and teachers. And moments later, the building came down. Imagine that. Imagine that for a story. Somebody who was proactive enough to pick these signs and act immediately. That's an extreme situation, but there are so many things that we have done in our work. I mean, water dripping somewhere that could have damaged an equipment. You fixed it. It's a small fix. I did a small, repair on that place and the water stopped dripping. And this equipment, what so and so that could have been damaged, have been spared. Tell your stories. Every time you want to share your reports, please elevate those reports to strategic levels. Otherwise, you will continue complaining that you don't have recognition. Show productivity improvement by linking FM interventions to fewer disruptions and smoother workflows. Fewer disruptions and smoother workflows is backed up by data. You cannot just tell management that, oh, we now have fewer disruptions. No, there were 10 disruptions last month. This month, there were only 4, right? That's how you demonstrate objective, quantifiable numbers that can be trended. Some trends will come down, some trends will need to go up, and so on. A quality trend, for example, cost trend, you have to have reports that can be trended continuously. Highlight safety enhancements through preventive maintenance, hazard mitigation, and compliance adherence. Quantify cost savings from energy efficiency, reduce downtime, and predictive maintenance strategies. Use before and after comparison to illustrate tangible improvements from FM initiatives. You did a condition assessment. Things really look bad in this organization. There's no capital investment required to upgrade it. They can't invest that money. But from your little OPEX, you were able to do this and do this and do this and look at the outcomes of those improvements. Share employee satisfaction and engagement data to reinforce FM's contribution to a positive workplace environment. Get feedback from those you are serving. Don't wait for the top people to give you the feedback. Though, of course, you will need their feedback, but everybody you are serving has a feedback for you. Try to pick them and don't shirk from that ability to ask. And of course, you must shift from reactive fixes to preventive strategies. I just gave you the 5 levels of FM operational execution. And I tell you, when you are at the top, the proactive level, you have elevated your career, you've elevated your profession. In fact, what you have done is give credibility to the entire FM body globally because you have done it professionally. And that's what we're trying to push. And please, data, structure, systems to make things work. Because it's possible to know how to do it. And you are doing it because you are there, because you have learned, because you have heard, because you have been exposed, right? But can you create a system that is repeatable so that others can follow, can just plug in? That's what we say you are now implementing the strategies. If it worked well before, make sure that you can replicate it continuously. Positioning FM as a strategic partner in organizations. FM objectives, organizational goals and objectives must align. That's what I talked about when I said KPIs is at the highest level of aligning FM activities to organizational focus. Highlight FM's role in risk management and all of those preventive measures to remove disruptions and ensure compliance. Showcase FM-driven cost savings and value creation through energy efficiency, preventive maintenance, and optimized space usage. Collaborate with leadership and other departments to integrate FM insights into the decision-making process. In fact, by the time you get more and more involved in the core business, your ideas become more and more valuable because every time you speak with an understanding of where the organization is going, no longer at cross purpose. Communicate FM successes regularly to strengthen its visibility and influence as a key business enabler. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have taken down a few notes on how to, change that perception that, when things don't fail, we can't be recognized. From the last, few minutes, I've shared some ideas that can really make you really visible, and I just dropped a few more here. Beyond reporting internally to those you report to, you can actually have a system of reporting to everybody. Create newsletters that has valuable information, how to make requests, certain procedures, guides on how to manage certain appliances and implements in our homes, how to manage certain seasonal changes with our maintenance. There are so many ideas you can put into a newsletter and distribute through the internal channels to show FM experts. There are so many things we know in FM that, every other person who are busy doing their accounting and IT job, they wish they know. So we should be able to share that knowledge with them, right? And they'll be grateful for that as well. And then when there are changes, initiatives here and there for making things happen, try to seek opinion of the users. And when they are done, try to come back and ask them for their feedback on how we did. All these are ways to make you more visible, even though things are not breaking in the organization. Okay, so that's our session for today. I would like to entertain a couple of questions and comments. If you've learned something, you can pop in a word or two to highlight what you've learned. If you have a question, please do. Nice time. Victory, please go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So my question goes like this. So I currently work as a facility manager in my current organization, but I'm having challenges with some of my internal stakeholders because there's this particular stakeholder that, regardless of how proactive or how efficient I try to be, this person doesn't seem to be satisfied. And just because this person is on the higher ups and this person is tight with senior level management, and they are always making me feel on my toes. Sometimes I tend to doubt my capability as an FM, but how do I manage somebody like this? This is the only person, every other person is fine. So I don't think it is a me issue, but I'm just trying to wrap my head around it and find a way to manage this particular individual. Please, any
Okay.
advice?
Yes,
Thank you.
Victory. It is a you issue, not that person. I think that's where you're getting it wrong. Start from inwards. Um, it's good you said I'm trying to find how to manage, which is a good thing because it means that you also are aware that the responsibility for solving this relationship gap, this communication gap, lies squarely on you. There's nothing you can do to change the other party. There's one point I want to make. Facility managers may be aware of their professional standing, but customers, clients, and organizational leaders are becoming more and more aware of the strategic relevance of FM. That if we place more, anybody that is highly enlightened or aware of FM value to organizations will hit us really, really hard. So I want you to take this challenge on, and ask yourself, what exactly do I need to do differently to change this leader's perception of my role as a facility manager? Now, so I'll give you a few tips. One, alignment. What is this person's major interest? What organizational goal is this person trying to achieve, and how can I support? Right? So I begin to work towards ensuring that I provide strategic plans and design and develop execution programs to meet this person's professional need within the organization. That's one. Alignment is very key, right? And then two, I've talked about some of the ways we can change the things we report, elevate our reporting of our activities to strategic level reporting, and make our work more visible to everybody within the organization. Okay, so a lot of the things that you think, oh, somebody doesn't like the way we are working or is not satisfied with what we are doing, it's something we can handle. You are doing a lot, try to step it up with strategic communication. And then secondly, improve on your alignment as much as possible. Everyone has expectations of us, right? My job is to first understand what those expectations are. So you might need to warm up to this person and try to understand what this person's expectations are. If you continue to think that it's personal, then it will never be solved. So forget about that part, right? Don't even think. If you think it's political, then I'll tell you, well, yes, politics is a virtue. You need to play the politics in the workplace, right? And that's one of the things we teach you in the FM Mastercraft Diploma. So if you've not taken the FMMC, I think it's an opportunity for you. We're starting on April 13th. Enroll now, and you will get from lesson 1 to the 30th eye-popping ideas to change the narrative around your workplace. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the advice. So I just want to pitch in one last thing. So
Okay.
everything you said, I did everything. Then I had to go and read a book on psychology. So based on that book, this person is having a hard time conceding to me, first of all, because of my gender.
Yes.
Secondly,
Yes.
this person is used to being in control, and this
Mhm.
person feels threatened with the authority and position my office carries. So
Yes.
how do I deal with that person now? So now I understand where this person is coming from. It is not personal, it is more of a ego thing. So how do you advise I go about it?
Victory, burn that book. The book has deceived you. That book has deceived you, yeah? It's not about him at all. It's all about you, okay? So refocus.
Okay, I'll try my best.
Yes,
Thank
you
you.
need to. You need to. You're welcome. All right. Thanks, everyone. I hope you've all had a good time. Please look at the chats. We have the WhatsApp group, the Telegram group. Join, so you can stay in touch. And then please, and then we have a very big opportunity coming up. We have a project at Eket, a facility management project that requires about 300 employees. So if you are from that area, and can reasonably live and work in Eket community, please, take advantage of this opportunity and apply. Can someone please put the link for that recruitment page on the chat as well? So we'll try and have it on the chat. You might know some people who are looking for work. There are 12 different roles, and we need to recruit about 300 people to fill these positions. So if you know anybody who will be willing to work in that region, please share the link and get them to apply. Okay. Don't forget our earlier announcements. The FMMC starts on the 13th of April. Please share the link, max-migold.com/promo. Let everybody, take that link out, max-migold.com/promo, and share it on your status, on your broadcast. Get everybody to see that. The free training on the 4th of April is a big deal for us. We do it once a year. We used to do it several times a year, but since we started doing the FM launch hour every week, we felt we should do the physical free training, hybrid rather, free training, where we meet, new people once in a while. So thank you so much. And I hope you can start practicing what we have learned from this session, and see you again next week, Thursday. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, sir.